Hi, Chris here for the 365 Days of My Health Healing. Today we're going to do something really exciting and hopefully that you'll enjoy. It's to do with drumming, and we're going to do very easy drumming techniques, something that you can start with and you can build upon if you own one of these little boys, a djembe. So what we're going to talk about today is the djembe itself as an instrument, and obviously why it's here, the history of it a little bit, and also some just little techniques that you can do to become an expert drummer. So with the djembe, it basically has a long history in Indigenous tribes, our tribal brothers and sisters, the Native Americans, our Indigenous Aborigines here in Australia have all used a drum of some description. Drumming has always been something that they've used in festivals, celebration, dance, and basically it's to bring in the vibration of Gaia, Mother Earth. It's said that the drum of the tap of the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth or Gaia, and that is a reconnection back to Earth and to be able to connect with nature as well. So with our drumming, what we basically want to try and embrace when we're hitting our drum and when we're playing our drum is a sense of connection, a connection back to Mother Earth, nature, all the goodness in your life, and also about feeling that heartbeat, something that you can relate to when you're actually hitting the drum. So I've got two drums here today. This is a small one just to show you a little bit about the makeup of the drum, and then we've got the bigger djembe, which I'll show you some drumming techniques. So a little drum like this one, which you can buy in a lot of alternative stores or tribal stores. There's quite a few around if you Google. And this little one is a great little one to start with, being this size, because you can take it wherever you want. If you wanted to go to a festival or a few drumming classes, a good little one like this you can actually strap into a bag and away you go. So when we're talking about the drum itself, obviously we've got the skin on the top, which is the main area that makes all the noise, and on the bottom it's hollow. Now it needs to be hollow so that the noise can actually extract out through the drum. Just a tip: when you first get your drum, don't lay it just flat on the ground and start banging, because the sound will be muffled. It's actually got to go on a tilt, so either put it either between your legs and start playing and you'll get a better sound, or just have the drum on an angle out in front of you so that the sound can actually extract out. When we've got the skin on the top, there's two parts to that to actually make our sound. So the outer rim is the tone, or hit a tone type sound, and the one in the middle where the logo is actually your bass. So that's your deeper, more vibrational sound. And obviously, if you know a little bit about drumming, if you've ever been to a concert, you'll see an array of drums. You'll see all their big bass drums are on the bottom, which give you that thumping sound, and then you've got obviously your tone drums and your cymbals, etc., at the top, which give you those higher pitch sounds. Put it all together, hopefully you make a beautiful rhythm or some sort of racket. But either way, you'll get some noise out of it that hopefully is pleasurable. Now, when we're utilizing our drum, the best thing to do is obviously be in a comfortable position, because if you're going to start to get into a rhythm, the last thing you want is to be in a position where your leg's going to sleep or you're not at the right angle, and suddenly that you're starting to think about things and you lose your actual rhythm of playing the drum. So what I'll show you, I'll put that little one down and I'll bring up the big one so that we can hear exactly what these sounds are. So this is a bigger one. This one stands probably up to about my waist in height, and it is beautifully handcrafted, and it's made of a timber, and it's obviously got all the beautiful linings around the top that keep the skin on, and so it's nice and compact. They do come a little bit weighty, so if you do get a bigger one, they certainly can have a little bit of weight in them, but at the same time, you know, they're easily transportable. They've got the straps on the side, so you can carry them everywhere. So I'll just show you a quick sound of the actual drum, just so that you can hear the tones of it. As I was saying before, you've got around the outside, which is the tone, and the tone is a higher pitch. So that's a And then we're talking about the middle, which is the actual bass. And if you hit the bass, you can hear that deeper resonance. So what we're going to do is show you a couple of combining those two together, two very easy ones which you can practice at home, and then you can explore obviously into other rhythms as you go. So first thing we need to know is, how do you hit the drum? So when we're going around the outside, I mean, lots of djembe players or drum players have different types of ways of hitting it. This is my personal one, is particularly with the tone, I like to use the tops of the fingers, or the first layer of the finger. So basically where the first crease comes down from the top of your finger is what I like to use, and I cup my hand. So I'll show you on the side, is like that, and then I just, then you can hear. You don't have to hit it hard. Djembes are quite incredible how they actually, the sound comes through them. So from hitting them really, really hard, A, you'll get sore fingers, and B, it doesn't necessarily need that type of aggression to get a sound out of it. When we're talking about the actual bass side of it, again, having the hand cupped for me is the best way to go. And I just hit it with the cupped hand. And as you can see, it gets that beautiful big bass sound out of there. So what we'll show you is the first of two very, very easy drumming techniques to get you started. What I always like to do is, when I get into a technique, is have a mantra going in my head, so that I can sort of keep up with the rhythm of what I'm doing. So the first one I'm going to do is just basically hitting the tone twice and then the bass once. It's that simple. So when you're doing that, to try and keep the rhythm there, instead of thinking, oh, am I good enough to do this? Am I going to be all over the place? Say a mantra in your head, something like, I am drumming. I am drumming. If you say that over and over in your head, you won't lose your rhythm, because the body's basically listening to you, and then you're outwardly projecting the drum playing. So we'll try that just for a moment, just to give you an idea. So I am drumming. I am drumming. I am drumming. I am drumming. Say that as much as you need to out loud, or within the confines of your meditation. When you're drumming, you don't necessarily need to shout it out. And when you've got your rhythm down, then just practice that for a moment until you feel really comfortable, and see how we go. So it's a... Now the other one that you can say, which might help you to try and distinguish between tone and bass, is tone, tone, bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, tone, bass. That might help you as well to realise where you need to actually hit the drum. So that's a very easy one. And one thing you can do with that is start at a nice slow pace. And when you've been, say, drumming for 2 or 3 minutes and you've got that pace down pat, then you can change it up. Then you get a different vibration that comes in. You can go faster, slower. And just to give you a quick idea, is what we were doing was this sort of rhythm. And if you wanted to fasten it up just to see what it sounds like, is or you can bring it back down again. So you can play with the pace of the drum, feel comfortable with it. Once you've got that rhythm down pat, it'll be quite extraordinary how you'll feel about being part of that rhythm. And actually you can easily go into the higher notes, the lower notes, the faster notes, the slower notes. It's all part of this, of just going on a journey with the drum. There's no mistakes here. This is drumming 101. So the second one, now that you've mastered that, is we'll get a little trickier, and we'll show you something a little different. So it's the same type of rhythm, but we're just adding another bass in, just to try and give you something different to play with. So that's same as what we had before: a tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass. So all we're doing is adding in another one, and you can do it the reverse way. If you don't want to do the two tones at the front, do the two basses at the front, swap it around. So the world is your oyster here. You can have it in any which way that you actually feel is comfortable. And again, when you get into adding another note in or another section of the rhythm, you can either have that mantra again, and that can be something like, I am dreaming, I am walking, I am beautiful. Whatever pops into your head, as long as you get that fourth syllable in to try and help you. Or again, go back to that same scenario where you're going tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, or bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone. Either one, whatever tickles your fancy to try and help you stay in that rhythm. And again, speeds up and down. Once you get comfortable with it, you can stay in that rhythm. I always suggest stay in that rhythm for at least 2 or 3 minutes, just so you can actually feel what the drum is like and how you're connecting with it and what it sounds like. And again, with that particular arrangement, we can do a couple of different speeds. So we started off nice and slowly like that. And then we can get our faster. Bring it back down. Back down to basically virtually nothing. So when it comes to the actual rhythms that you're trying to create, as I keep saying, there's nothing that you can't do. Put on your favourite CD, have a song in your head, bounce along to it, drum along to it, do whatever feels correct. I mean, there really is a situation with drumming that when you start to connect with the drum, it will pretty much tell you how it wants to be played. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy, but your hands will be led to the energy of the drum as well. So there's something important about drums. If you're going to go and purchase a drum, I always say to people, connect to the drum first. So when you go to see it on the shelf, or if you see one on the internet, I know this is going to sound a little silly, but look for colours, patterns, what the drum, how it actually looks, whether it feels like it's something that you're attracted to, something that you want to be a part of. Because drumming is all about energy as well. So if you put the right energy into your instrument and your apparatus, you'll play a far better rhythm, a far better connection, a far better sound. So it's all about picking the right drum for you too, because when you start to play, it is quite infectious. Drumming is one of those magnificent things that the kids can do, you can do, everyone can do. It's so easy. And once you start to sort of feel that you're becoming a better drum player or a better djembe player, then there's so many places that you can go. There's as I kept saying, there's festivals, there's things in the park. You just got to check in your local communities if they're having a djembe night or a fire twirling night or something along those lines. And everyone's always more than welcome. And you can make the biggest racket you've ever had at a drumming festival, because no one cares. They just love to have you there. So next time you're thinking of getting a djembe, do it, because it will be one of the best investments that you've ever had, and you will have a fantastic time playing your drum. So until next time, 365 days of My Health Healing. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for having us today.